What's going on, everyone? I am the OPJellicent, and we are team building for Week 8 of the ICBA up against the Pittsburgh Huge Powers, coached by Ryo Hiramaru. Definitely a very solid player. He's had a rough season so far. I think he's 2-5 or 3-4, but definitely a very tough opponent right here. And his roster is pretty scary to say the least. But I definitely think we have a pretty great matchup advantage right here. So that's definitely working for us. This is actually going up the day that the match is going to go up too. We actually just battled last night, the night before you guys are seeing this. So yeah, battle will be up today at 4 p.m. Eastern, in case you do want to tune into that. And yeah, you can see the 6 Pokemon that I am bringing at the top of your screen. You can see the 11 Pokemon that he has the potential to bring over on the right. We'll go through his 11 Pokemon one by one, get my thoughts on them, and then we'll go through my 6 Pokemon. So let's go ahead and get started right here with his Magearna, which is definitely a problem. I think my team naturally deals with Magearna. We do have an Assault Vest Entei, and we have a Mega Mawile in our team, which can actually outslow any sort of Trick Room variant, so I really don't think setup Magearna makes a lot of sense. Just because Calm Mind, he would need to Shift Gear and Calm Mind, and even then, he's not even OHKOing Assault Vest Entei with Fight Z, so I really don't know what he's going to do with Magearna. If anything, it'll just be an Assault Vest set to try to help out with my Kyurem Black and my some other Pokemon, potentially set up Necrozma, maybe Greninja too, but you'll actually see I'm running a lure on Greninja this week, which is actually pretty cool. He also has the Latias, which I'm kind of hoping he doesn't run Choice Scarf, just because it can outspeed both of my Choice Scarf Dragons, which I am bringing Dual Scarf Dragons this week, which I'll explain later. I know he has a Magearna on his team, but we do kind of naturally deal with the Latias as well with our Mega Mawile, which is definitely very cool. Next up, he has the Xurkitree, which I think set up Xurkitree wouldn't make a ton of sense right here, just because we pressure it with so many priority attacks, and we have a ton of potential Choice Scarf users that could actually just outpace that thing and prevent any sort of setup sweep. So we have Sucker Punch and Mega Mawile potential. Water Shuriken on our Greninja definitely can hit that thing, as well as Extreme Speed Entei. So that's all things to consider right there. So if anything, it'll just be a Choice Scarf set, or maybe like a Tail Glow set with a bulky variant. And next up, he has the Volcarona. Same kind of thing with Magearna. It's kind of struggles against a few Pokemon on my team. It's definitely pressured by the priority attacks, and Entei definitely deals with that very well too. The Assault Vest Entei pretty much deals with the two biggest threats to my team, which are Magearna and Volcarona. So I'm very glad I have Entei. So Magearna is really not that big of an issue. If you Quiver Dances twice, we even take it on with Entei, which is pretty funny, and we OHKO that back with the Flare Blitz. So as long as Entei is healthy, Volcarona won't be a problem, and we should be good to go there. Next up, he has the Azelf, which is a Stealth Rocker. He could run like a Sash lead set, but we actually have a counter to that with our Dual Dragons. Basically, the idea is if he does bring a Sash lead set, we lead off with Flagon, U-turn out, and then go out into Kyurem Black and Revenge Kill that thing, and then we can go out into Scarf Flagon later and defog the hazards away, which is definitely very nice. But other than that, Scarf Azelf could definitely be a thing too. Shadow Ball could threaten my Necrozma. I don't think a Nasty Plot set is very likely, and honestly, I'm not too worried about a Nasty Plot set, but could be scary, I guess, if I switch out on it and then it gets up a Nasty Plot and it's not a range of priority attacks. Definitely something that could potentially sweep. But next up, he has the Tentacruel. I'm actually kind of worried about Swords Dance Tentacruel, as crazy as that sounds, because it actually has a decent speed tier. It outspeeds my Kyurem Black and it speed ties with Flagon, but thankfully, those are both Scarfs. So Swords Dance Tentacruel is not as big of an issue as it would be. We also have Intimidate on Mega Mawile. Obviously, I'm not switching in Mega Mawile if it's just Scald. Don't want to risk getting burnt, but Necrozma naturally takes on Tentacruel too, and we're bringing a pretty bulky Necrozma this week. Next up, he has the Mudsdale. I'm very confident Mudsdale's coming, just because it's just a 1 Mega Mawile counter. He can switch it in, take the player off, get that stamina boost, and then take another player off and knock me out with Earthquake. And I don't have many great Earthquake switch-ins. We have Flagon with Levitate, which is not going to hit him at all. I mean, even Outrage is doing like 30%, and with stamina boosts, we're not doing any damage. So, Mudsdale, giant problem. It's threatened by my Kyurem Black and my Greninja, though, and I'm bringing both, so that's definitely working for us right there. Sneasel, not a big threat. We deal with it with Scarf Kyurem. Mega Mawile with Intimidate can deal with that too. And overall, Sneasel is really not that big of a threat. Nothing much else to say right there. Mega Lopunny, which is probably a very big threat to my team if it weren't for my Necrozma. It's doing like 30% with return, and with the leftovers recovery, it's not really going to be doing too much. I guess it could be some sort of like Baton Pass variant if he wants to run like Power Up Punch the Baton Pass or Agility Baton Pass into another Pokemon, but like I said, we have checks and counters to each of its setup sweepers, so I'm really not too worried about any sort of set like that. And then finally Zangoose, which I don't think he'll bring Zangoose because Mega Lopunny completely outclasses that as a normal type in this matchup. Pretty much you can spam return. I guess SD Quick Attack Zangoose could be a problem, but we have lots of priority on our team, which does outpace that. Greninja with Water Shuriken and Entei with Extreme Speed, so same kind of thing. Set up Zangoose wouldn't make a ton of sense. I guess you could go with some sort of, I think it's Toxic Orb with the I forgot what the ability is called. I think it's immunity or something. And then you could go with like facade. So definitely something to keep in mind right there. Just because I don't really have any normal type switch-ins besides Mega Mawile, and I'm pretty sure Zangoose gets coverage for that. So those are the 11 Pokemon that he has the potential to bring, and let's go ahead and get into my 6 Pokemon now. Alright, first Pokemon we have right here is Mistakes our Mega Mawile, which is running a Substitute 3 attack set with a Brave Nature, which basically ensures that we can outslow Magearna under Trick Room with the 29 speed EVs that you have right there. And the other cool thing is I actually think he might bring Mudsdale as a good counter to this, as I said when I was going over his team. And we actually can outspeed a max HP, max defense Mudsdale by 1 point now. If he does recognize that I'm trying to outslow Magearna, and then he puts a bit of speed on Mudsdale to outspeed my Mega Mawile here, that would definitely be smart. But other than that, this is also my Latias counter. We definitely take a +1 hidden power. We can out-prioritize that with Sucker Punch. Obviously, we have to be scared of substitutes on any Pokemon, like specifically Volcarona, Xurkitree. And this is also my Sneasel counter. We will get the Intimidate this week. I'm going to make sure we don't misgen that, and we can Intimidate that thing, take anything. He can't knock off an item, and we can just fire off a big hit. So Mega Mawile definitely going to be doing a ton of work right here. And yeah, pretty much just Magearna, Latias, Sneasel deals with all 3 of those. Also, I need to switch into the Mega Lopunny since we don't get 2-hit KO'd by High Jump Kick, but I don't really plan on using Mega Mawile for that. I do have another Pokemon on this team that is designed to take on the Mega Lopunny. So yeah, that's the whole idea with Mega Mawile right here, and let's go ahead and move on to our Greninja. Alright, next up here we have Taco, our Greninja, which is running a Lure set with the Ground EMZ Dig. Pretty much this thing can take on Assault Vest Magearna pretty easily. It actually OHKOs that with the Z Dig, and it could also take on the Tentacruel, and I'd really think Spidef Tentacruel is a very great option for him to try to take on Greninja right here. So we can just Z-dig that thing out of there and knock that thing out. And even if he has something like Shukaberry Tentacruel, we will break the Shukaberry with our Z-dig. The worst he can really do is set up T-Spikes. You won't really be doing that much damage to it with any sort of attack. And then we can just U-turn out into our Flygon and go right for that Defog. I am bringing Defog Flygon this week. And the Shukaberry will effectively be gone, so Earthquake will be able to knock that thing out too. So definitely a good scenario that I envisioned right there. But yeah, this is basically a Tentacruel and a Magearna lead. Z-Dig is also more reliable to making sure that Volcarona doesn't set up on me, since Water Shuriken is not really that strong of an attack, and I don't really know how many hits I'll get. So Z-Dig is definitely the best option right there, but this can also just be as a nice pivot to U-turn around and get in some of my heavier hitters, such as my Entei and my Kyurem Black, but it's really here to try to lure the Magearna and the Tentacruel, since those are 2 Pokemon that are pretty instrumental in winning this game for me to get rid of. So that's the whole idea with Greninja right here. We also have Water Shuriken. Obviously, just for general priority, it'd be nice against something like a Z setup Xurkitree. We can definitely chip that thing down with another Mon, and then just come into this and revenge kill that thing. Also, it's great for Volcarona after a Quiver Dance in case he is in range. We can use this to revenge kill that too, and yeah, I really like Greninja's matchup this week, and let's go ahead and move on to our Entei. Alright, next Pokemon right here, we have Shiny our Entei, which is running an Assault Vest set. Assault Vest pretty much had to come this week. It counters 2 of his biggest threats to my team, which are Magearna and the Volcarona. We actually OHKO both of those with Flare Blitz, which is definitely very nice, and we have the Flame Charge tech on there in case we see an opening to sweep with this thing. In case he has no fire resists left, we'd pretty much just have to weaken Mudsdale, as well as the, what's the other thing, Latias, and then we can actually potentially sweep this thing, but really it's here to make sure that Volcarona and Magearna don't sit up on us and sweep us. I actually think we could take on both. We can switch into Volcarona. Since it's not a Z-Mon, we can definitely live a hit from that, and then we can actually switch into Magearna later and take a Fightinium Z Focus Blast as well. So this thing is really bulky, despite the fact that we only have 20 HP investment and 4 in Spidef. But other than that, same kind of thing, priority is definitely very nice to potentially revenge kill stuff like Xurkitree and Volcarona if it has already set up. And it does out-prioritize some other things like Mega Lopunny's Quick Attack, which he might try to pick me off with if I do get into range of that. Same thing with Zangoose, Extreme Speed will out-prioritize that thing's Quick Attack. I don't think Zangoose gets Extreme Speed, I'll have to check that, but yeah, definitely looking very good with Entei right here. We have enough speed on there to make sure that we outspeed Xurkitree no matter what. He has no reason to go max speed, but I really wanted to make sure that I hit that barrier. So yeah, Entei is pretty much our primary response to Magearna, Volcarona, maybe Xurkitree if we get rid of those 2 threats early. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our Necrozma. Right, next up here we have Necrozma, which is running a fully physical defensive set, and the idea of this is Mega Lopunny is a gigantic problem. Mudsdale is a gigantic problem to this team too, and this thing can pretty much take on both of those pretty well. Stealth Rocks, Thunder Wave, Photon Geyser, Power Gem, pretty standard set. Power Gem in case he wants to use this as Quiver Dance fodder. We can actually hit that with that Thunder Wave and then Power Gem it twice and guaranteed take anything. And we will be able to 1v on the Volcarona. Definitely don't plan on using it for that though. I want to use this to counter Mega Lopunny primarily. And the idea is, I do have a Scarf on this team. I guess I might as well say it. I'm running Scarf Flagon. And a good anti-lead would be, if he leads off with Flagon, I can actually mask that thing Scarf Heart, switch out into this, and just get my rocks up for free, because I really think he would be tempted to fake out or Ice Punch right away. Not expecting this Fizz Def set, and it could definitely do some work. So, primary Mega Lopunny answer right here. Can also take on stuff like Azelf if it does lack Shadow Ball, and really spreading the Thunder Wave around his team is going to be really useful too, because I actually think the only thing that doesn't appreciate that, that appreciates that, is the circuitry, because Latias, Volcarona, Magearna, unless Magearna has a Trick Room set, which I'm not T-Waving Magearna because I do want to outslow a Trick Room set with my Mawile. But pretty much nothing wants to get Thunder Waved, which is definitely very nice, and this set definitely just had the matchup right here. It even takes a hit from Sneasel, and we can OHKO that back with Power Gem, along with Stealth Rock's chip damage in case he does want to try to revenge kill me with that, so definitely a very great option right here. And yeah, hopefully this thing can stop us getting swept by Mega Lopunny. And let's go ahead and move on to our final two Pokemon, which are both of our Dragon types. Alright, first of two Scarf Dragons right here, we have Domino, our Kyurem Black. And pretty much the idea is here, you might be wondering, why am I running Scarf Kyurem Black against a team with Magearna on it? At some point in the match, I know he's going to have to try to go for a game with Magearna, whether it's a Trick Room set, a Shift Gear set, and after we 1v1 that thing with Entei, this thing pretty much just clicks Outrage through the rest of his team. I actually don't think he has any other resist. Everything either gets hit neutrally or super effectively, which is definitely very nice. We're taking very little from Fake Out, like 17 to 20%, so we can definitely take priority attacks from Mega Lopunny. And yeah, after Magearna goes down, this thing pretty much wins the game. It's also a great revenge killer to something like Calm Mind to Latias, which definitely has a very big threat to me. After some Calm Minds, it can take hits from my Greninja, but obviously Mega Mawile can help out in that regard too. But this thing is a great revenge killer to a lot of Pokemon, actually. It can definitely revenge kill Volcarona. Not after a Quiver Dance, but if he doesn't just knock me out, we can go out into this thing and just fire off a Dragon Claw. Does outspeed Azelf too, so if he tries to bring like a lead Azelf, what I can actually do is lead off with Flagon, go for Scarf U-turn. I will reveal that I'm Scarf, but I can go out into this and just knock out Azelf with the Ice Beam immediately after, which is definitely looking like a very great scenario too. So I really like Scarf Kyurem Black's matchup right here. Hopefully it can pick up some kills and get back up to the top of the kill leaderboard. And let's go ahead and move on to our final Pokemon, which is our Flygon. Alright, last Pokemon right here, we have Chompo, our Flygon, which is also running a Choice Scarf. Same kind of thing as Kyurem Black, except there's a few differences. We're kind of walled by Mudsdale with this thing, so I have to be careful about that. I'll probably just U-turn out if I see Mudsdale coming in, and then I can bring in something like Kyurem Black or our Greninja to threaten that out. But other than that, this thing can also speed tie with a Volcarona trying to after a Quiver Dance, so that's definitely very nice too. If we can win that, we could potentially knock that out with Earthquake and prevent a sweep. Also a really great response to Z-move circuitry, because after a Z-move he will definitely outspeed me with the +1 speed boost, but with the Choice Scarf we can outspeed that in Earthquake as well. Great Tentacular Revenge Killer too. I do have to scout for potential Shuka Berry paired with Ice Beam, definitely a big threat. And yeah, pretty much really like this thing's matchup. Kind of fulfills the same role as Kyurem Black, except this thing can also give me momentum as my U-turner, and it also provides you with hazard control. So in case the hazards get kind of out of hand, if he does get up T-Spikes with the Tentacruel, we can definitely use this to get rid of those, since this thing is actually immune to T-Spikes, so we can ideally have nothing get poisoned on our team, which would definitely be very great, since 4 Pokemon actually don't deal with that very well. And the things that threaten this, such as the Sneasel with Ice Shard, as well as the Scarf Latias potential, are both walled by Mega Mawile, so that's definitely very great to consider too. Yeah, just really like this thing's matchup. Same kind of thing with Kyurem Black too. If we get rid of Magearna, Scarf Outrage definitely has pretty great cleaning potential right here, and we don't sponge Fake Outs as well, we take like 30%, but if we do remain healthy after that thing is gone, we can definitely get something to happen right here. So hopefully this thing can come through, and yeah, that is going to be the team for this week. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Would you do anything different, and do you think we are going to win? Match will be up today at 4 p.m. Eastern in case you do want to check that out. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Later.